So episode 11 of Slime Season 2, Birth of a Demon Lord. We knew it was happening. It was the official title. We knew from the preview. Unless they wanted to blue balls us, which there's no way you can title your next episode Birth of a Demon Lord and not deliver on Birth of a Demon Lord. And last week, I thought was perfect. I thought it was satisfying, all the miniature battles before our boy launches a Megado attack and gets like 40 to 50% of his kills. Satisfying, brutal, quick, didn't see it coming. Walking into this episode, that tension, that fear of someone could literally just float above you and like a laser go through your head, your chest, just in a matter of seconds your life is over before you know it. They took that and they made it all the more better while having some actual hilarious content. I mean, when that one guy is trying to run away and he's like, I'll go get help, and you just see him get sniped. One of the funniest and most brutal deaths I've seen in quite some time. And I was hoping that would happen, because when you see certain characters, you just get this itch of wanting to see them fail. And when you're launching an attack that's going to kill everyone in this camp, minus maybe the king and some churchmen, you kind of hope that will happen. And it's like the slime wanted to answer our prayer saying, hey, you wanted it, we're gonna give it to you. But the number of times I'm just like, I can't believe what we're seeing comparing where we first started out to where we're at now, knowing that we would see something like this brutal. I mean, for weeks, we've known like it's going to happen. If we want to save these characters, we have to kill 10,000, if not more, and become Demon Lord. And with the title Demon Lord, probably even more insanity. But to actually see it executed, and the idea of, I think, my new favorite power I've seen in this show, the ability that if people have given up on fighting, you can actually just kill them by activating a skill Merciless and they'll just all die. It's so crazy, it's so satisfying, and it's so jaw on the floor reaction that as you watch a king who originally was going to use all of his soldiers as a shield to escape, which sure, soldiers protecting their king is to be expected, but generally, you're kind of used to the king saying, I want to fight alongside you, you won't die in vain, because the kings who sit their fat ass on the throne and don't deserve that worship generally get a lot of mutiny and betrayal. So to see it all come crashing down, and the fact that, that's like the only prisoner just because it's more useful to you in that situation, but it doesn't mean you can't cut an arm off, so to speak. And to watch it, to watch the evolution, to watch the build up to these kills, and to finally see Diablo pop up, I believe it was episode 23 or 24. He gets teased in season 1, and then I think he also appears in one of the bonus episodes of season 1 to kind of further flesh out. But to actually see that character pop up so indoctrinated by Rimuru, who will do anything it takes to be a loyal subject to him, and that's his greatest and biggest plan. I mean, our boy was about to sacrifice his own life, or at least part of it, in order to finish off the ritual because there wasn't enough molecules in the air, basically, to be able to revive everyone. And Diablo over here is sacrificing 2 of his minions, and I'm like, holy shit, this is getting frightening, especially considering that you're seeing characters like Yum, freak out like it's a literal devil, so things are getting dangerous. And that's actually why I appreciate there's at least one character, that being Benimaru, saying, please don't change, please don't become someone else before the ritual finally takes off, because it's a pretty normal fear to say our leader, who we love and respect the most, becoming Demon Lord might change him, and we don't want that to happen. I like how there was at least one character having that fear, and maybe more did, just so we didn't get to hear their internal thought process. This episode just takes the quickness and the holy shit, Rimuru really can do some damage if he wants in his current form, takes that, continues with it, flexes even more insane abilities like Merciless, where just the soldiers are on their knees already waiting for death, activate that, they're all dead, and then you end with him even more powerful, completely different vocal performance and everything, and you're wondering, what is he going to do now? What is the prison situation going to look like with the former king? It's kind of insane, though I think my favorite point of the episode is when his army is kind of like in his village are getting gifts, because anyone associated with the evolving Demon Lord gets a blessing, so to speak. I assume it's kind of like a power-up, similar to how when he named his fellow companions and creatures and things like that, the fact that there was only 2 who didn't get that blessing, and it's for obvious reason, given, well, Mulan, who caused a lot of this, and then Yam wanting to protect her and was willing to die for her. It was just like one of those moments where you just realize, like, oh my god, do not cross our boy. Do not cross Demon Slime, because that's gonna bite you in the ass. In terms of how much I loved how they visualize with both the sound effects, making it really feel like a laser last week, where you couldn't even see it coming and it went through your vital organs, with the slime almost like raindroplet kind of effect, it looked amazing. Here, they just continue that, but the thing that made it so much more satisfying was he actually lowered himself and he said, hey, you're probably a fake king, I'm gonna kill you. Oh, you're the real king? Okay, shut the hell up. Say something stupid, he kills more of them. And when they talk back, he has no problem cutting off their arms, because at this point, you asked for this. You're trying to bluff saying we want to have trade routes, we'll have all these great things, but pay me back in the future. This man has to be on something, and Rimuru just having no chill for the situation, it didn't feel like it came from nowhere, even though it's vastly different than where he started out and was even at the beginning of this season. Seeing what happened and what requirements are there for that 3.14% chance of revival, and I love how they end the episode saying, like, that was the calculation before I evolved, the new calculation, and then we see the characters wake up. Most likely it was very close, if not to 100%, because of probably Great Sage and things like that. But still, it's insane. It's one of those things that just makes you appreciate the build-up, I feel like, anyway. Season 1, great. Season 2, I think it's great. There was only one episode that I felt like was a miss. It was just because it was kind of repeating things we already saw in the previous episode. But last week with this week, it feels like all that build up from basically season 2 and 1, it feels like this is the natural step, and where the second core can now go with that evolution. And the new thought process of Rimuru understanding that, we have to make certain humans fearful of us, otherwise I'll have to do this again. It's going to be interesting. Though I really appreciate how during the evolution sequence and gaining all these new abilities, failures to level up certain skills because probably another skill was kind of interfering, maybe you couldn't have both at the same time, maybe there was too much power in one body, the whole revival thing could even happen in the first place. At first it's why would you want to give up Merciless, but then when you see what he was able to do because of that, it's completely understandable. And given the fact that he didn't even need that attack in order to destroy the army, he can do another Megiddo if he ever needs to, most likely, and if not even worse situations. This is interesting, and I love how characters are already fearful of what Rimuru can do, because he's doing things that even previous demon lords that are currently active can't do even in their wildest dreams. And to watch it was satisfying. That's the best way to put it. This was, without a doubt, the most satisfying Slime has been, and I think even better than last week, which I was like, that's best Slime has been. It's incredible. It feels like there's been build-up, and this is the payoff, and this is even more payoff. It makes last week just look okay, even though I still think last week was an amazing episode. It has definitely been a roller coaster, and I think it's why it's one of those isekais I look forward to the most, because the way the world and the powers and the characters kind of work, especially with the whole naming system and how they're linked up to you, and then when you're leveling up as a demon lord, they probably level up alongside you, and then you get characters like Diablo popping up. That's what you want to see, and with one episode to go for season 2 part 1 anyway, as we then wait for obviously summer for part 2. What's that gonna look like? I imagine the difference between talking at a table before becoming Demon Lord and talking at the table now that you are Demon Lord is going to be very night and day, especially considering you're prisoners. It's going to be interesting, but I think without doubt this was the most satisfying Slime has been, and I am so excited for more. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. What did you think? And what was your personal favorite magic attack in this episode? There's quite a few, but I think the whole idea of just a demon looking down and you just dying before his eyes was probably mine, but let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you have been new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.